I always said it was just an honor to be nominated, and it is. It is. I've been nominated twice before our company, but having said that, it's even better to win. Anyone is right for the Glee project, and the goal of these contenders is to be so on fire and distinct about who they are that Ryan will be inspired to write for them. And I went up to him the final day and he was very nice, very, very nice. And I said, I'm just fascinated that you would even be interested. And he goes, oh, I've already made $30,000 or $40,000 off of you. I'm like, what? Oh, so I get back and I'm on the phone to Zach and I said, Zach, you won't believe this Hawaii story. And he goes, oh, that the paparazzi were after you. And I go, who told you? And he said, I saw it online.
Now, going back, do you ever take a step back and think, you helped create this phenomenon?
Well,
you had a piece in it.
I did have a piece in it. I mean, I always feel like a lot of people help create this phenomenon, so I am just lucky to be a part of it. But yes, occasionally I take a step back and say, the other day I said to my wife, I said, it just kind of hit me. I said, I can't believe I won an Emmy. Yeah. And even though from a kid I dreamt of winning an Oscar, still, well, you too. Still winning an Emmy was a pretty big deal, and I never want to forget, and I don't think I will, just how fortunate I am, because there's, as I said at the beginning, there are so many extraordinarily talented people, casting directors, and I just happen to have been lucky and blessed with working with nice people who believed in me, and my partner Eric and Caroline when we were starting, and gave us a shot, because I think we work really hard and I think we have great taste, but I think a lot of people do, and we're just very lucky. So,
right, but Chris Colfer thanked you in his Golden Globes.
Well, that was one of the most exciting things ever. Well, Chris is one of the people that actually I do feel like I can take a little credit for, because
you helped create a part for him.
Well, I helped create the part, but at least I again, because Ryan is open to seeing people and has given me that kind of creative leeway and made me feel that comfortable. When Chris came in, there was no part for him. So yes, in Chris Colfer's case, I do feel like I contributed at least to take him to Ryan, and then on the spot, Ryan created the role for him. But and Chris thanking me was so nice, because generally the people that get forgotten are the casting directors. It's just human nature that when you move on to the producers and everybody, you know, it makes sense. That is a fun story, because we were getting ready to do the Glee project auditions the first season, the callbacks in Long Beach. And I had to be there early in the morning, so I had decided not to go to the Golden Globe party because I just had to be up so early and I had to drive to Long Beach, blah, 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 blah. So I was going to drive down very early in the morning and get my hotel and all that. So I'm watching with my son and my wife and my daughter, and suddenly Chris wins, and it's like so exciting, so exciting. And then when he said my name, first of all, I was very touched. I was very emotional, actually. It was really wonderful. I'm yelling, and the whole house is screaming, the phone's ringing. I ran upstairs and got my tux on. I said, forget it. I don't care how tired I'm going to be. I'm not missing this. And I drove down to the Golden Globe party.
Okay, I got so many questions, fan questions, on my Facebook and Twitter, Miz Hollywood, about what's going on Glee. Do you have any news for us freaks on what's going on?
If I did, I couldn't tell. And the truth is that I usually find out the day before I'm casting something. So no, I don't find out that far. Usually don't find out that far in advance, unless it's something specific that I have to really look for.
Okay, but I just read yesterday that the characters that were supposed to graduate
are
coming back for the fourth season.
I read that yesterday too, and because I haven't had 5 seconds today to talk to anybody about it, I don't. But I'm assuming that if Kevin Riley said it, it must be true. So
it's gonna be less for you than to cast, hopefully.
Well, I mean, I guess if there had been a spinoff, and I theoretically had been cast in the spinoff, that might have been more, but. You know, I never know. I thought that was a big surprise to me, and I'm sure Ryan has something incredible figured out. And
I mean, that's good for us, you know.
Yeah, it is good, because it would have been, you know, the thought of really having to say goodbye to Leah Michele or Chris Colfer or Corey, that would be really, really outrageous when I really think about it. Yeah. So.
I mean, they're going to have to leave at some point.
Well, at some point, so it's not ridiculous.
Like, don't cut me at the knees already.
Exactly,
exactly. And then also Grant Gustin, that plays Sebastian, he's now, I read, going to be a series regular.
Yeah, well, he has an option for series regular. Grant is, or did we?
You don't want to slip.
No, it's more. I don't remember if we picked up the. My brain right now is fried.
Read that. He's
but anyway, but Grant does have a deal now on the show, and he's a good story because he is somebody who sent me a tape, or his agent, I guess, or manager sent me the tape. I'm assuming probably Robert Stein, who's his manager. When we were casting the role of Gavroche, which was when Lindsay Pierce did her first episode of Glee and she sang Anything Goes, he was the boy that sang, that danced with her. Originally sang with her, and then they made it a solo for Lindsay. But it was a big dance role. Initially, a little bit bigger role. The boy that did it was excellent. But anyway, Grant was submitted for that, and he was incredible. But he was a little bit too classically good looking for that role, and so that he is, and so he didn't get it. And so when this role of Sebastian came along, I thought of him again. And by now he was touring in West Side Story, and I wanted to audition him. And the only time he could audition, because he was flying from wherever he was to Arizona, and he was going to have to fly in from Arizona on a Monday, the day they were dark, was he was going to be in LA on a Saturday. And I'm like, I don't want to make the kid have to spend money to fly in, so I'll come in on Saturday. And my associate Alex Newman and I really worked with him, and he's obviously enormously talented, but he's a very sweet kid, so he had to get the character, which was not a sweet character. And so I think he's a real star too. I mean, he's a triple threat. He's amazing. He's gonna break up my duo though. I know, but I'm pissed. He's great, and so it was fun. He was. Those are always fun when we actually feel like, because he'd never done anything in front of a camera that I don't believe he had, and so it was a big deal. He had been Baby John in the tour, as I said, at West Side Story, and so this was a big deal, him getting Glee, and I'm very proud of him.
Well, I know you've worked with some great people, and I sent some tweets out to some people that you've worked with, and this is what they had to say about you.
Oh my goodness.
So Harry Shum, that's on Glee, said that you're one of the nicest guys that he's ever worked with.
Oh, that's sweet.
So he sent that
he
to
is
me.
Too.
Kristen Chenoweth, one of my favorites.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
on my list to interview, so please, Kristen. She said, I've always admired him.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's amazing.
Very sweet. She was at the Emmys, obviously, the night that I was there.
Love
she was
her. And Hannah from Glee said, from the Glee Project, said, I love him and miss him, and I hope that he's not working too hard. Now, we know that that's not true, because as I've been here today, you have been, like,
Hannah's
spinning.
Great. Those Glee Project kids are like my own kids.
I know, I've seen that, and you're just one of the nicest guys, so I know that. Now, before we go, I got something for you to sign that we're going to give away on the website. So, I have this limited edition Glee.
How cool.
Yahtzee. So these are like all the people that you casted on the show that are on the dice here. So we're going to give this away on MizHollywood.com, and I'm going to have you sign it. And then tune in at MizHollywood.com, and when we post your interview, we're going to see how that we can give this away to one of the lucky winners. So if we can have you
That's so fun.
Go ahead and sign that.
That is really, really cool. Sonia?
Yeah, just go ahead and sign it anywhere. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I really appreciate it. And you already got it signed, so tune in, MizHollywood.com, and see how you can win this and get the special piece from Robert Ulrich. So thank you very much. Right foot forward. And thank you for joining us at MizHollywood.com. See you next time.